Now I would like to share with you some books that you could check out from the library. The first book I want to share is called Stitching and Pulling, a G's Bend quilt by Patricia Mckissack. It's told through a collection of poems as a young African-American girl pieces her first quilt together. The history of her family, community, and the struggle for justice and freedom in G's Bend, Alabama unfolds. Remembering, Mama told me cloth has memory. I hope the white lace handkerchief remembers how pretty my cousin looked the day she got married to Junior all over again. If by chance the cloth forgets, I want to always remember all of it. The next book I would like to share is called The Patchwork Quilt by Valerie Florinoy. And you could also get this on DVD. Using scraps cut from the family's old clothing, Tanya helps her grandmother and mother make a beautiful quilt that tells the story of her family's life. The next book is called Showway, and this is on DVD, and it's also available to download the audio version and the video version using Hoopla. Suni's great-grandma was just 7 years old when she was sold to a big plantation without her ma and pa, and with only some fabric and needles to call her own. She pieced together bright patches with secret meanings made into quilts, maps for slaves to follow to freedom. When she grew up and had a little girl, she passed on this knowledge, and generations later, Suni, who was born free, taught her own daughter how to sew beautiful quilts to be sold at the market and how to read. The next book I would like to share is called Sweet Clara and the Freedom Quilt by Deborah Hopkinson. A young slave stitches a quilt with a map pattern which guides her to freedom in the North. Aunt Rachel say, "Sweet Clara, what kind of pattern you making in that quilt?" "Ain't no pattern I ever seen." "I don't know, Aunt Rachel. I'm just patching it together as I go." She looked at me long, but she just nodded. And that's Sweet Clara and the Freedom Quilt. This is called Sewing Stories. This is a biography about Harriet Powers' journey from slave to artist by Barbara Herkert. Little Harriet placed a cotton filling in the quilt. She held the pine knot light high. "I won't nod off, no ma'am." By the crumbling fireplace in the middle of the night, Harriet learned to sew stories. And the next book is a nonfiction book also, and this is called Quilts of G's Bend. This is maybe a little bit for older children, but if you get it, it tells a lot of the history of the ladies of G's Bend, and it also shows beautiful pictures of the quilts on the pages. So you might just want to get this and look at all the beautiful quilts.